ادعمونا بلايك للفيديو واشتراك بالقناة، فهذا يدعمنا كثيرا.
Introductions for players who've become familiar with each other because it's the third meeting of these two sides in the space of 4 months, and David Moyes has prevailed on the previous 2 occasions against his former Everton captain. Alphonse Areola, taken off as a precaution at half-time of the defeat at Manchester United, has recovered in time to start as part of an unchanged team. Kurt Zouma was absent for both of the Hammers' wins over Arsenal this season, but having won against them with each of his previous teams, he hopes today will see his first in his current club's colours. Thomas Souček, a scorer in the league win at the Emirates, lines up alongside the Mexican international Edson Alvarez. And Ben Johnson, who's proved his worth as what Moyes calls a hybrid player, continues his recent run of starts, having shown an eye for shooting opportunities last time out. Jarrod Bowen has scored against Arsenal in each of their last 4 visits here and was the hero of the Europa Conference League final win last season. That wasn't the only trophy West Ham won either. Both Divine Mubama and Oliver Scarles were part of the FA Youth Cup winning team against Arsenal. They're on the bench along with Calvin Phillips. Mikel Arteta knows that for all of last week's celebrations following the win over Liverpool, they'll count for very little unless they follow it up with another today. He doesn't have the luxury of being able to name an unchanged team, but David Raya remains his #1 goalkeeper. A change is forced on him at left-back, where Alex Zinchenko is ruled out by the calf injury he picked up. Takahiro Tomiyasu is still not ready to return after the Asia Cup, so Jakub Kiwior deputises. The second change sees Leandro Trossard, who rounded off the scoring last week, come in to start alongside Declan Rice, who's had 2 unhappy reunions with West Ham so far, losing both and conceding a penalty in one of them. The front 3 against Liverpool stays in place, with Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli both having made crucial goal-scoring contributions. There's a youthful element to the bench, where Ethan Nwaneri, the club's youngest ever player when he made his debut at 15, is present. He's only 16 now, and joined by other young graduates, Mauro Bandera and Ruel Walters.
West Ham against Arsenal from the London Stadium. Just a few minutes to go until kick-off in that game. Huge for West Ham in terms of their European ambitions, huge for Arsenal in terms of staying in the Premier League title race. When you look at where they are in the table, Paul, you've already said this is a must-win game for Arsenal. The player that they've brought in from West Ham, Declan Rice, how important has he been in terms of the different approach from Arsenal this season compared to last title race?
Oh, amazing signing for me. He hit the ground running. He's been outstanding. You know, we talk about Arsenal being good defensively. It's because of him. He sits in front of the back 4. He doesn't get... You know, the good thing about him, he doesn't get involved in the game. He does what he's good at. He just keeps on passing them little balls through the lines to your Odegaards, and it'll be a Trossard today. And he just keeps it going. You find some players that play in that position, after about 40, 60 minutes, they start going, you know what, I'm going to get involved here, start smashing 60 balls across the pitch and getting cut out. He keeps everything simple. He's so good. I love it when he's in the middle. I think he gets wasted when he plays on the right-hand side of the 3 or the left-hand side. He needs to play in the middle. He's been absolutely outstanding. Keeps it simple. They have to be patient today. West Ham are just going to sit back. They're going to let Arsenal have the ball. And then West Ham, for me, are as good as anybody on the counter-attack. Yeah. As good as anybody.
The key for Declan as well, he turns up every week. He plays every week. He's always available. He plays the games. He was always going to settle in at Arsenal. It's not as if he's even moved cities. He's obviously played a lot of games in the Premier League. He's a big physical presence in there. So even having an off day, you want your team to be big and strong. Keeps everything simple, which a lot of players can't do. A big player.
Obviously, if Arsenal play to the best of their ability, you look at the league positions and you think this should be a win for Arsenal. But what can West Ham do, as Paul was saying, to try and frustrate them? Is it about sitting back and hitting them on the counter?
Yeah, well, yeah, I suppose so. And again, the set pieces are always used in the Premier League now, particularly for teams like West Ham, who are big and strong. And of course, they have great delivery. So it's certainly not an easy game for Arsenal. And even if they're at their best, I think if West Ham are at it, then it's going to be a tough afternoon for Arsenal. Are Arsenal slight favourites? Probably. But I certainly wouldn't be writing West Ham off.
Time to find out with your commentary team at the London Stadium, Alan Smith and Rob Hawthorne.
Well, it remains to be seen if Arsenal will be the ultimate beneficiaries, but they certainly opened up the title race with their victory last week, and they take on a West Ham team who haven't been losing too many matches of late, but they have drawn one or two more than they would have liked. Well, West Ham's only league win against Arsenal in this stadium was caused by a player who's playing for Arsenal today, Alan, Declan Rice.
Yeah, and he's become a vital member of this Arsenal starting 11 in a short space of time too, because there's a lot to learn as part of an Arteta team. You've got to show plenty of discipline in terms of your positioning and awareness, and he's done that really quickly. And West Ham have spent the money pretty well, haven't they, that they got for Rice. Alvarez, I think, is certainly a different type of player, not quite so dynamic, but he protects that back four with a lot of intelligence. Ward-Prowse slightly different, we know what he gives from set pieces, and he's settled in really quickly.
Well, Arsenal bruised twice already by West Ham this season. This, the third coming together of the sides already. It's 99 years since the only occasion when West Ham beat Arsenal 3 times in the same campaign. That was back in March 1925, when victory in an FA Cup replay at Stamford Bridge preceded.
السلام عليكم، اخباركم ايه؟ يا رب تكونوا بخير وبصحه وسلامه يا رب. النهارده بشاره ليك، اشاره ليك. ربنا بيرسل رسائل عن طريق شخص لا تعرفه ولا يعرفك عشان يبعت لك رساله، يمكن حاجه انت خايف منها، حاجه نفسك تطمن بيها. فربنا سبحانه وتعالى يديك فيديو زي ده انت تطمن بيه، او حد ما تعرفوش يبعتهولك، او تشوفه او تسكرول كده في اليوتيوب فتلاقيه قدامك فتحس ان ده ربنا بعتهولك. احنا كلنا اسباب لبعض. ربنا سبحانه وتعالى هيفرج كربك وهمك وغمك وهيبدله فرحا، والله العظيم اقسم بالله. بس انت عليك بالاستغفار. استغفروا يا جماعه، قل استغفروا ربكم انه كان غفارا. بيعمل ايه الاستغفار؟ يرسل عليكم السماء مدرارا ويمددكم باموال وبنين ويجعل لكم جنات ويجعل لكم انهارا. السلام عليكم.